So Carin, thank you so much for making time to share your insights into the future of leadership and your SA champion journey. But before we walk into the future, can you please tell us a little bit about your backgrounds? Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Pretoria. I currently stay less than a kilometer from the hospital in which I was born. But my family owned a farm in the Northwest province, and it was just my dad and his brother. His brother farmed there, so we went every weekend to the farm. And so I grew up with my one leg in Pretoria and my other leg in the Northwest province.
Thank you. And tell us, what was your dream career when you grew up?
To be quite honest, I had many. I wanted to be veterinarian. I wanted to be a marine biologist. I wanted to be a lawyer, a journalist. I wanted to be all those things. And in the work that I'm currently doing, I'm actually doing all of those things, or most of those things.
Thank you. Now, Carin, who inspired you, or what inspired you to enter this career, especially in your early days?
I do not. I think water for a farm. My uncle, my granddad, who farmed in the Northwest province on a dryland farm, rain and water was always extremely important, because if it doesn't rain, then there's no crops. And so I guess being aware of water and its importance in producing food, in ensuring livelihood, was impressed upon me from a very young age. And then my dad would love to take us on trips, especially when dams are overflowing, or when the sluice gates of the dam is open, to go and see. And I guess that kind of is part of the inspiration. And then I think, on the other hand, also, to whatever you do in life, make a difference in the lives of others. Leave a legacy in which you can say that you've made an impact and that you've made a difference. And I think that inspired me to, and then obviously my love for chemistry, my love for the sciences, kind of culminated in me becoming and then also for the law, becoming a water governance specialist.
Now, Carin, today you're one of the leading water management specialists in the country. Can you tell us, what was the turning point? Was there, looking back over your career, was there a major turning point?
I would say that there were quite a few turning points. Probably the first one, I qualified as a chemist. I did my honors degree in chemistry, and I started to work at the Department of Water and Sanitation in the laboratories at Roodeplaat, and did some chemical analysis and then chemical sampling. And then just as the department started to establish their pollution control branch, I was transferred to the pollution control division. And then at the age of 27, I was coming back from implementing monitoring network system on one of the tributaries of the Vaal River. I was in a serious car accident when I was 27. And I only got scars and injuries in my face, but then I realized that, you have only one life, and you must live every day as if it's your last, and you must do as much as you can within the time that you have within every day to make that difference. And so, realizing that you only have limited time, and that your life can end at any moment, I think changed the way I looked at what my job was, and that I'm not just another cog in the wheel, but that there's a purpose for me to go out and make a difference, and do my best to change the way people see and talk about water, and understand the importance of water in our life. Another change would then be when I was asked, I left Water Affairs after a while and worked at Northwest University. And then I was asked to come back to Northwest University. And that ended up in me having to take a decision to protect the Vaal River, although it was not a politically accepted decision. I knew that the decision had to be taken in order to protect the Vaal of the people in the Klerksdorp area. And I took that decision, even though it cost me my career in water affairs at the time. But I guess that made me then realize that you can work as much as you can, but you will always get what I call the politics of pollution that will interfere with what you do, and change is inevitable. And that is when I started to go out on my own, and I think making a change, even if you are just a small company, just a few people, you can still make a change, and you can grow and create jobs and create other leaders through doing things like training, capacity building, community engagement. And so it is possible, but every turning point is a get out of your groove moment. Get out of your groove and start thinking about it differently. Every challenge is an opportunity.
So true. Thank you, Carin. Now, ever since you went on your own, can you maybe highlight a project or two that you're particularly proud of that really made an impact in water management, which is such an important area in our country?
Well, I would say both. When I was still with the department, the decision to issue the directive for protection of the mines in the Klerksdorp area was most certainly something that I'm still proud of, even though it cost me my job. And then also, I think initiating through discussions, through conversation, initiating the blue drop, green drop system from within the department. And then since I started on my own, I think the capacity building of more than 1,200 people up to now since we started training, but also mentoring people who approach me and say, Carin, I need some guidance on my master's project, or Carin, can you help me to formulate, I have this challenge. And even now, currently, I'm working on a project that will probably be the best scientific solution to, if we just followed the traditional way, would have costed billions to a large metropolitan area in the country. And now we approach it differently because we are actually looking at the science and taking a decision that will not cost that much money, but will in effect be an asset to the community. So always trying to look for solutions that is not necessarily the most obvious one, but that with input from the community that is affected, input from all the different parties, you'll come to a better solution that is more cost-effective and beneficial in the long term.
Thank you, Carin, and we're very much looking forward to hearing about the project you're mentioning. Now, talking about leadership, talking about mentoring, coaching future leaders, if you were to design a curriculum for future leaders, what are maybe one or two key skills you would want to factor in and maybe teach?
The 3 C's, without a doubt, I call them the 3 C's, actually 4 C's. And that is communication, critical thinking skills, collaboration, and compassion. And those 4 C's, for me, makes a great leader. If you can have compassion or kindness, understanding where people come from, understanding that we are not necessarily just corporate beings, but that we are human beings, and then dealing with people with compassion, but also using your critical thinking skills. Don't get flustered. Stay calm and evaluate all the information in front of you with your critical thinking skills. And then collaboration. Nobody is an island, and you do not solve water problems by acting alone. You work as a team. You collaborate with people. So for me, in summary, those 4 C's that I've mentioned of compassion, collaboration, critical thinking skills, and communication as keys. And leaders who are successful are leaders who care more about people than praise for themselves. You do the quiet work behind the scenes so that others can shine. You trust your people, you trust your decision making to appoint the person that is working for you, and then you trust them to do the work. And then to talk straight. That's what I mean with communication, to not be scared of having hard conversations, to not be scared of confrontation, but to do confrontation in a way that contributes to the good of the team. If we can use an example, for me, always a good example to look up to is Nelson Mandela, who did confront a lot of people and had a lot of confrontations, but remained kind. Desmond Tutu, Rassie Erasmus, guys who lead with compassion, kindness, but who are not afraid to confront difficult issues, deal with them, and move on to complete the task at hand.
Thank you, Carin. Now, as a mentor to many future leaders, can you maybe share a success story or two where you mentored an upcoming leader and that person took your advice to heart?
Oh, I have quite a few. One example that immediately jumps to mind was a young lady from Umlazi who didn't really have proper, she was in primary school in Umlazi, and then in a former Afrikaans-speaking school in Tshwane, and then wanted to study at university but needed to pass Chemistry 1. And when she came to, I gave her extra classes, part of my community service to my community. I gave extra chemistry classes. And when she came to me, she had an average of 12% for her chemistry. And then we spent a couple of months going over the basics, understanding what her real problem of understanding was, and understanding that the math that she had wasn't enough for her to understand chemistry. And teaching her that chemistry is like anything else, a language, and teaching her the language of chemistry. And then she passed with 92% after just that short intervention. Another couple of guys that I appointed as interns, fresh out of university, gave them training, gave them the skills of critical thinking skills. I called it the BS detection skill training, and train them into understanding and separating what's real, what's misinformation from what's actual fact. And some of those guys are running their own successful businesses today. Some of them became environmental managers, water managers for large companies, large corporations in South Africa. So I call them my field of dreams. They are all out there and making a difference in their own special way. And I played but a small part in ensuring that they can make a difference wherever it is that they work.
That's a wonderful, it's a wonderful way to put it, your field of dreams. Thank you, Carin. Now, where can our listeners follow you, and how can they connect with you?
They can connect with me on LinkedIn. All the details of our Carin Bosman with a C, Carin, Bosman, and the details of our training courses and our work that we do is there on our website as well. I have a little blog on my website, and that is cbss.co.za, where we put the details of our water innovations, our innovations to make water more adaptable for the fourth industrial revolution, on visualization of monitoring data, that people who do not necessarily have a degree in chemistry can understand what water really looks like, how it flows, how it goes. And also our advisory services that we offer is on our website, but people can hook me up on LinkedIn and then I'll direct them from there.
Thank you. And Carin, last but not least, what is your message to the millions of learners who are leaving school, who are looking to start their career? what are maybe one or two success principles that they should keep in mind?
Knowledge is power. And knowledge, my dad taught us this, is something that nobody can ever take away from you. But make sure your knowledge is fact-based. And our ability to unlearn wrong things that we might have been taught in the past, as new knowledge become available, replace that and unlearn the old things and relearn new things. And never stop learning. Doesn't matter in which direction or in which career you're going, a university qualification it doesn't say this is now your golden ticket. All it says is you can learn information in a short time and give it back on a piece of paper during an exam. That's where you start. It's the same with getting a driver's license. Learning how to drive and passing your driver's license doesn't mean you know how to drive. Experience and skills, and build your skills make sure that whatever you do, that you can be passionate about what you do. And try water. Working in water sector has got so much opportunities, from finance, from water resource accounting, through to engineering, building new sewage works. And there is so much opportunity in South Africa in the water sector that I cannot even begin to say, but my best advice to learners leaving school is do something that ignites your passion. Then you will never feel like you work a single day in your life. Every day will be fun, even the hard days when you lose your job or when things don't go well. Even that is good experience, and learn from your experience and take every challenge as an opportunity.
Carin, thank you so much for making time to share your insights into the future of leadership and really sharing your pearls of wisdom for the next generation.
Thanks for the opportunity, Dr. Nick. Much appreciated.